Well, the AV team's now fully unpacked in sunny Florida. We flew into a thunderstorm on the way in, which was very exciting, and it gave us just a great build-up to another bit of exciting first start to the Infocom trade show, and it's the first day of the Tide conference, which is always a bit inspiring because it looks at AV in a slightly different way. It makes you think about the experience, what you're trying to do with the technology and the kit rather than just bolting it on the wall, which sounds like an awful thing to say, but I don't think sometimes we think outside the box enough in AV, and this sort of conference is one of probably many we should be having that makes us rethink how we look at AV. And two speakers who were here today, or certainly this morning, which we're going to be talking to in a little more depth this afternoon, is Bart Kresa, who is the master of projection mapping, and Franck from ESI Design, who we covered in AV Magazine a while back with their work that they did for eBay, which is a dramatic piece of work. And it's interesting, they've got an architectural background. They're looking at technology that helps the architectural process. And really, they're really arguing that media should be part of architecture in terms of materials, sensors, the thinking of engineering, which should be really in the fabric of what we install as AV technology. We think of them really as separate items, and we shouldn't do. We should be thinking of them as the environment, as a complete package. And we don't think holistically enough, I don't think, in any of the designs that we're doing. Although in part of our round tables, we had designers, consultants and architects all together, and it was quite a good mix of people who clearly do get on well. It's a question of going to that next step now and rethinking how the fabric can really help the overall effect of buildings and architecture, which I'm sure we're going much more quickly towards than we realise. Interesting about the sensors, now that's pure engineering we heard this morning, and sensors are going to be much more intelligent than they are currently, which will fit into what you've probably called IoT, or Internet of Things, not Information of Things, I once said. And that's what really makes the fabric of the building more intelligent. It helps AV create a different type of effect that gives to the person entering a room, say, so it will recognise you as you go in, and the sensors in that room will remember what you've done previously, and start to create an environment in which you yourself are more comfortable and can do more things in. So it's interesting, an architectural practice, ESI Design, based in the US, who we watch quite closely actually, is doing all kinds of things with some of the major companies around and creating experiences and environments that really sit very subtly into the whole AV process. And that's what we get also from Bart Kresa, who many people will not realise, I didn't until he was talking this morning, about his audio background. And he was thinking, projection mapping is primarily visual experience, but actually the other senses around the visual help you take in and feel more comfortable with the visual solutions that they're producing. It also begged the question whether modern projectors are really up to the job of delivering what we want to do when we're delivering experiences, because they need to be quite sophisticated, not just being bright as we hear about, but are they up to delivering the content we want them to deliver? And clearly Bart's been working with Christie, with Panasonic, to really work on really quite leading edge stuff to make sure that the projectors, or future generations of projectors, can deliver what we want from them. That's quite interesting. And I think that sensual approach to what we're delivering, where design is uppermost, not the technology, is the way we're going to go with experiences and what AV has to deliver as technology progresses, which I thought was really quite interesting. Well, that was a good start to not just the Infocom conference, but the Tide conference. We're going to be having more in-depth chats with some of the people we've seen today later on next week, which you'll be able to see. And the beginning of the show is tomorrow, which we'll be covering and running around. But for the moment, good start. See you soon.